Live from all around Central Texas, you're watching KWTX News 10.
After 3 months, 2 open heart surgeries, and countless other procedures, a Harker Heights family welcomes home their 5-month-old son. News 10's Kathleen Surrey brings us the story of Braden McCann and how an organ donation saved his life.
He was in the hospital for 3.5 months.
104 days straight.
Yeah.
It's been a difficult year for Elisa and Nick McCann, spending nearly every day with their youngest son at the Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. It all started 6 weeks after Braden was born, when he started vomiting, breathing heavily, and Elisa noticed he wasn't gaining weight. After multiple visits, doctors diagnosed Braden with several heart defects, saying he would need a heart transplant.
We were life flighted to Texas Children's Hospital in Houston on April the 6th.
That's when Braden was placed at the top of the transplant list and waited for another month and a half before getting his new heart from a 10-month-old child on May 22nd.
They weren't thinking about themselves. They were thinking about others when their life was falling apart.
A selfless act that saved Braden's life. After another open heart surgery and a handful of other procedures, Braden was cleared to come home this weekend for his older brother Parker's 6th birthday. Now, being away from the hospital means Mom and Dad have taken over as his unofficial nurses.
He takes 14 different medicines every day, multiple times a day. We literally have a schedule.
It's definitely a full-time job, but I mean, there's nothing else we'd rather do.
And even though Braden will be going back to the hospital this week for another procedure, the McCanns say they feel blessed to see how far their son has come.
If you don't believe in God, I feel like Braden is living proof that God exists.
A message that the McCanns hope will inspire everyone who hears Braden's story. In Harker Heights, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Oh, he is a cutie. Well, a GoFundMe page has raised more than $24,000 already. If you'd like to help, you can look at the link under our story at KWTX.com. Well, Salado
Moving to a new military base can be difficult, not just for those enlisted, but for their families as well. It's a tough topic that a few familiar friends from Sesame Street are tackling on Fort Hood this week. News 10's Kathleen Surrey has that story.
Nearly 600 people pack into the Abrams Fitness Center this afternoon as Elmo, Cookie Monster, and company help out their friend Katie, who just found out she's moving to a new military base.
Sesame Street knows kids and the USO knows the military, right? So when we have those two together, we've got a show that's great for military kids.
They may be fictional characters, but moving from base to base is a real topic that military families like the Smiths can relate to.
If it was just me, it'd be easy. But when you got 4 other people to deal with, to take care of, it's pretty hard.
It's a routine the Smiths are familiar with, as the family of 4 has been stationed at 3 bases, including Fort Hood, in the past 6 years.
The children understand that Elmo went through the same thing, Katie did too, and pretty much they're not the only ones that's going through movement, adjustments, and being diverse in different situations.
Along with catchy songs and dances, Elmo and friends also give advice for kids to make friends on a new base and to keep in touch with the old ones as well. On Fort Hood, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
The show runs again on Fort Hood tomorrow at 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock. It's for military families only. Well, less than a month after the popular Pokemon Go app is released, last year, the state of Texas issued more than 215,000 handgun licenses. As of yesterday, those people can now carry their guns onto the state's public 4-year colleges.
News 10's Kathleen Surrey joins us live from the Bell County newsroom with more on the new campus carry law and what it means. Kathleen.
Gordon and Tara, the approval of this law comes after years of controversy about whether allowing guns on college campuses is a good idea or not. But all debate aside, Texas is now the 8th state to allow its licensed carriers to bring their concealed handguns on campus. Like most campuses during the summer months, Texas A&M University Central Texas is pretty quiet. And even though a new law is taking place, Campus Police Chief Charlie Rodriguez says he trusts the licensed handgun carriers who can now bring their weapons on university property.
So based upon the people that receive that training in their license to carry course, I'm very confident that those people understand what they're supposed to do when they come on our institution, or any institution for that matter, and will obey the law.
Rodriguez says the new law doesn't change the fact that you have to be 21 to be a licensed handgun carrier in Texas.
So if you think about most of your institutions that have freshmen, sophomore, juniors level classes, those folks aren't even 21 years of age, so they can't carry a gun anyway.
As far as the way campus police patrol and enforce the law,
it's not going to change the way we do business.
The only place people can't carry guns on campus is the counseling center, which is clearly labeled on the door.
But honestly, it wasn't even on my mind until earlier today when it was brought up again. It just wasn't something people were really talking about too much on campus.
Jenny Talbert is a student at Texas A&M, and she says she doesn't think the presence of concealed handguns at colleges will create too much of a change.
I know it is a controversial topic, but I don't see it being an issue on our campus.
It's a policy that public Texas universities are required to follow by law. This time next year, the state's 2-year community colleges will also be included in the campus carry policy. Private universities don't have to allow guns on campus. Reporting live from the Bell County Newsroom, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Apparently ignored demands to put his gun down. That is where News 10's Kathleen Surrey joins us now live with the story. Kathleen, what have you learned?
Gordon and Julie, it all started just before 1 o'clock this afternoon in Copperas Cove when police were trying to serve a felony warrant for aggravated assault to a man who lives at the 600 block of North 17th Street behind us. Now, he was not cooperating with officers who were requesting for him to come out of his home. The SWAT team even arrived to assist. And just before 4 o'clock, that's when the suspect came out of the front door holding a rifle, and that's when he ignored officers who were requesting him to put his weapon down. He eventually fled through a couple of backyards to the North 600 block of North 15th Street, and he continued to ignore officers' requests to have him put his weapon down. That's when he circled back to his home at North 17th Street, and that's when he pointed his rifle at police. They exchanged several shots with him, and he was shot an unknown amount of times. He was transported to the Darnell Army Medical Center. It is unknown what his medical condition is at this time, but what we do know from a press release that was issued by the Copperas Cove Police just about half an hour ago, we know that no officers were injured in this incident. And so once again, we have one man who was transported to the Darnell Army Medical Center with unknown injuries. It is unknown at this time what his medical condition is. This is obviously a very developing story. We will keep you updated with details as we learn them. Live from Copperas Cove, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Brown color instead. News 10's Kathleen Surrey joins us live from the Bell County Newsroom. Kathleen, what's the issue?
Gordon and Tara, today I spoke with Kempner Water Supply General Manager Dolores Good. She says the discoloration is being caused by a naturally occurring mineral called manganese. Now, she says there aren't any known health problems related to manganese, but it does cause your water to turn a certain color that most people don't want to see. Now, Good says they have been flushing all of the water lines within their service area, which includes Lampasas, Coryell, Burnett, and Bell counties, but some customers I spoke with today say they're still not pleased with their overall water quality. For Kempner resident Ilanka Margus, it all started when she was about to fill up a bucket of water for her horses.
The color of the water was very brown coming out of the water hose. And so I came inside and looked at tap water and filled it in an empty water bottle, and it was literally brown.
Margus says maintenance staff from Kempner Water Supply arrived later that day to flush the nearby water lines. Since then, the water has been clear, but it's a fix that may take a while for many other customers to notice, since the water system is over 300 miles long.
It will take a while to reach all of the customers, but it is safe to drink, and it should be clear very soon, if not already.
Good says her company isn't required to notify customers of the manganese since it isn't classified by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality as a health threat. Even so, Margus says her family doesn't drink the water and hasn't for years. She says they've also experienced issues of extreme water buildup in appliances, faucets, and dishes.
We've even spoken about installing a house filter for the entire home. But on the other hand, why do I need to invest extra money for water to be filtered that should be filtered coming to my house?
Margus says she wants to see results from current water tests regarding manganese levels.
So I would love to know how much of it is actually in the water.
And even though the mineral isn't considered a known health threat, Margus says she's still concerned for the safety of her family and her animals.
Good says the company tests their water supply daily, which is how they found out about the problem in the first place. She says the probable cause for the nutrients' presence in the water is probably because of runoff from floodwaters earlier this summer. Reporting live from the Bell County Newsroom, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Live from all around Central Texas, you're watching KWTX News 10.
Transferring schools can be difficult for both kids and their parents. It's a challenge, though, that more than 200 students will face this fall in Killeen.
The Killeen Charter Academy is closing its doors for good. News 10's Kathleen Surrey has details on how this news is affecting some families.
Health and safety concerns are why the Priority Charter School District requested to shut down the Killeen Charter Academy. Concerns Karen Griffin was unaware of. Her two daughters attended the school for 2 years until she received the news by email earlier this summer.
I was upset.
Mainly because Griffin knew she would have to transfer Haley and Tamara back to the Killeen Independent School District. She says Tamara, who has autism, had been severely bullied in Killeen, a problem she didn't experience at the charter school.
They assured me that, the zero tolerance for bullying was zero tolerance.
And if you told the teacher at KISD, they wouldn't do anything about it, so I felt more safe at the charter school.
Griffin says the school offered transportation for its displaced students to the Charter Academy in Copperas Cove, but driving Tamara back and forth for therapy 5 days a week would be too expensive.
While they could get her to school, I would have to go back to the school, pick her up, bring her back into Killeen for the therapy. She's there for 2 hours, come back, pick her up, and then take her back to school.
Even though Tamara will be enrolled at a different high school than the one where she was bullied, her mother continues to worry about her daughter's transition. Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
News 10 reached out to